Welcome back to my channel. As you have seen in my last video, I've been trying to paint miniature just using them acrylic brush markers at the back, and I was quite happy with the results. That was without priming them, without priming the miniature. I used also possibly the biggest miniature apart from this one. This one maybe is a tiny bit bigger, but this is got more details, and I was quite happy with the result without priming. I just had to add a tiny bit of non oil at the end just to make it a little bit more detailed. Cannot come too close to the lenses because it goes out of focus, but that should be all right. That's how I can tell. If I go too close anyway, I cannot see because of my glasses. I'm getting blind, so I need to paint as many miniatures as possible before I die, I guess. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna prime all of these. And I was thinking about doing a black primer, a white primer, and a zenithal primer, but since these colors are quite covering, the primer is mostly for adhesion because I don't want the color to rub off in any way. I won't put any clear coat on this one, but still you can tell it's not the hardest color to hold. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do a black first, and with a Vallejo, and then do a zenithal, still a Vallejo on top, and then paint them with acrylic markers. Now the problem with these markers is that I haven't got many browns. I got just this selection of orangey and a darker brown, and I only have one red, so I'll try to do as much as possible with that. If not, I may just fill in with a tiny bit of color with the paint, but I'll let you know before we get to the point. So wish me luck. This is a big task. I'm gonna click prime everything first, and then see what happens. Well, see. First of all, I'm preparing a base for my miniatures so I can hold them, and then spray them like in 5 or 6 at the same time, and then put them in the dehydrator all together. You may say, well, you should have used thicker planks of wood to do it, but really I got too many of these ones. I better use them as they are. So let's do a little bit more. And flip it over, and that's the first base. I'm gonna prepare 3 or 4 of them, and then put double-sided sticky tape on top, and then paint it. See you in a minute. So by now, streamline the system. It doesn't take too long. You may say, yeah, you could have bought like bigger ones, like paint stirrers, instead of coffee sticks. Thing is that, first of all, coffee sticks, if you don't want to buy them, you can steal them in your local Starbucks. But I bought them. I bought 1,000. I really don't know what to do with it, and I become quite proficient with it. So I'm sure you can come back with some better types, more stylish. But at the end of the day, these only take not even a couple of minutes to do one. Flip it over on itself. Cut it over here, and we're ready to flip it on itself again. That's it, done. So I prepare 8 of them. It should be enough for doing all of them, and we'll see in a second. Now, next step, double size sticky tape. I bought this one from Amazon, £2.50 or something, and £2.70, doesn't really matter. Nice string of double size sticky tape in the middle there. I didn't even cover it. This is quite hard. I could have bought the soft one, the one from from I think it's from Mick, but it's much more expensive and there wasn't a fast delivery anyway. So double side sticky tape, peel it off. There should be an easy peel. Yeah, it is easy peel, good to go. And then we put them on top, bit of space in between. If I put, oh yeah, ideally, because I got 8 bases, ideally I should have put 6 of them, but yeah, they're perfect for painting. So we're gonna do over there. I might do 2 extra bits, 2 extra bases, but yeah, this looks like stable and I should be alright to remove it at the end as well. So see what happens. And there it is. I prepared the other 7 with the double side sticky tape. Now I only need to peel it one by one. I put the miniatures on top, and here they are, all in their bases. I managed to put all of them apart from the big one. At the end, I'm gonna do it on his own. And I did some with 5, some with 6. I put them quite close one to each other because I'm using airbrush, so it's gonna be much more precise than using a spray can. If you use a spray can, I guess you would put them a tiny bit more farther away. The other thing is that you see there's a gap missing. I thought I had 50 figurines and that's what it should have been. But yeah, I'm missing one, probably vanished somewhere. If I find it at a later date, I'm gonna paint it without priming. So let's start and put a black primer on all of them, and then straight in the dehydrator, and then we do the genital priming. What I did, I left all the characters facing the same direction, so when I do the genital, it's gonna be pretty much from the front, both of them mostly, and then see what happens. So let's prepare the black primer. First of all, this will be a brush thinner. I'll put the airbrush thinner first, so it doesn't, the paint doesn't stick to the wall. I say this much airbrush thinner, followed by the same amount of flowing improver, pretty much what the same, and then the black Mecha color. I'll give it a shake. Black Mecha color, pretty much the same as the other 2 combined, and just to make it user friendly, tiny bit of distilled water. I'll say pretty much this much, and let's see, yeah, maybe a bit too thin. Let's see how it sets. It's got nice legs anyway, so let's see how it goes. Maybe a tiny bit more color. Yeah, that's a bit better. And see how it goes. Put this on the side, this on here. Scan my ultra, set it up to prime, and see what happens. Starting with the very first one. It looks alright. Yeah, I'm gonna paint all of these ones in black and then put them in the dehydrator, and then I'll come back to you. And there's the last one. I had to put it on his own base. Yeah, just doing the big one. All the other ones are already in the dehydrator. They're gonna be ready in 15 minutes, maybe half an hour, just for the sake of it. But yeah, 15, 20, 15 minutes the first batch is gonna be ready. As I'm gonna progress into the other ones, then I'm gonna get ready and ready and ready. So just making sure I get all the bottom bits. Yeah, and that's ready to go. Perfect. Perfect amount of paint. Here they are. They're all curing inside the dehydrator. It should take about 45 minutes, but considering the time in between the different batches, the first one is gonna be ready. After 10 minutes I finish the last one. So I'm gonna start doing the white and then see what happens. Here we are back to the dehydrator. All my miniatures have been primed in black. I just realized that this one is back to front. Instead of facing this way, it's facing the other way. And that's why it's important to prime with the contrast color. So sometimes you don't even see the shape of the things you're painting. Anyway, I got them to cool down a bit because they were in the dehydrator for at 45 Celsius. I don't want it to be too hot and then the paint is gonna dry too hot. So now they've been cooling down for possibly half an hour, possibly more. I mean, I've been watching telly a little bit. We can do the white. We can do the right. For the white, of course, I'm gonna put the selector on, not on prime anymore. I think I'm gonna put it on base. See if it's enough. If not, we switch it back to prime. And no, yeah, leave it like that. And same recipe as before. Maybe it was a bit too runny earlier, just a little bit longer to dry up. So airbrush thinner, first line, flow improver to the second line, and then we go 2 lines. I've already shaken this white just to be ready. All the way up to the 4th line and maybe a tiny bit more. Set. And just a few drops of distilled water for good luck. This distilled water comes from a virgin spring up in the mountains of I don't know, somewhere where there's a pagan deity you pray to for good painting. That's quite good. That's quite good. If I need to put a tiny bit more paint, we'll check in a second. So we're good to go. Let's get this out of the way. I guess be on the side here. Same goes for the paint. And we start putting the gloves back on. Don't forget, always wear a glove, especially if you're switching from one color to another one. Of course, I don't want to get my hands dirty anyway. That's the main reason. And then it's much easier not to leave fingerprints into your miniatures if you're wearing gloves. So yeah, there we go. A bit of white on the side. Let's start with this one right here and see. Don't forget the ventilator, or you're gonna die of silicosis within 5 weeks. The ventilator, well, I call it ventilator, but it's a aspirator. Yeah, maybe it's a bit mild, the base setting. I don't mind, because I'd rather do thin cut and overlay. Yeah, that's okay. We like that. Tiny bit at the black, at the back. See it from the top to give it that sort of zenithal presence. Yeah, I might have to do a bit thicker than this. I don't want to get too close. Okay, let's do one click thicker. That's better. Yeah, we do like that. Shall we do a tiny bit more at the front? Just a tiny bit, just a touch. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Little dark shadows underneath. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So I'm going to proceed painting all the other ones, priming the other ones, Zolito, and then we come back to it. So here we are, all the miniatures are out of the dehydrator. I'm gonna give you a better look, but in the meantime, I found the missing one is this little rascal that decided to elude me. It was actually hiding under the cap. It was under, yeah, it was just sitting there hiding. And also, while I found this one, I found what's this, a site possibly, or maybe sickle, something that belongs to one of them. I haven't found. Well, when I get to paint it, I'll find it and I'll stick it back on. So let's put these two on the side. Give you a quick look of the miniatures that have been primed. Funny thing to notice, with the priming, the zenithal priming, you see all these sort of detail on the surface, the gradients that have been used, I guess, in computer designing and then printed the molds. Even more so, funny enough, if you look at this one here, look at the different angles of the mantle of the cape, how they come up. Just I thought it was first, I thought it was different materials where the ink was the paint was sticking in a different way, but no, I think it's different grades of the actual build, which I'm sure it's not a sign of big quality, but that's how they did it. So yeah, quickly, that's a view of the miniatures that have been primed in zenithal. As you can tell, the distance in between them was just enough for me to be able and put the right amount of shade. So yeah, that's how they came up at the end from the dehydrator. I strongly recommend you to buy a dehydrator, because you can also make dry meat and use it as a snack while you do your painting sessions. So this is a tiny bit darker. I can claim that I did this on purpose to see different outcomes of the paint, but I'm sure that these markers are so covering that probably it won't shine through. But because the point is that for me to paint them with the markers first, and then possibly I will have to do some bits extra with the speed paint, probably, just to, especially for the browns, so it may still shine through at some point. But yeah, that's how they are. And that's the last one. So a little bit of zenithal, and we're ready to go. You already seen this one last time. That's the one I did on the first video. And for this one there was no priming. I just did the markers and then the a little bit of null oil at the very top. So here it is. So I'm gonna put them all more aside and line up the color, so we have the all the colors lined up from dark to bright or bright to dark, and we start painting. What I did this time, I arranged the color in. Last time I arranged it on my own, but then didn't know where to put them back. Sometimes I arranged the color in the same order out the box, which hasn't got any meaning really, because numbers are not progressive. You go pinks in between, purple, light blue, I mean brown. These are more, but at least it's a bit more systematic than the one I used last time. Also, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have a little pot of water just in case if I overflow something, I can brush it with a wet cotton bud. We can get started. We're gonna start with this one here, which is like Kratos. I've been playing God of War, all the games since PlayStation 2, I think it was. See if my system works. I think this is even a tiny bit too sticky probably, but hey, not a big deal. We can do it. We can do it. There's still a sticky bit at the bottom, which we may remove or not, or remove at a later date. I'd rather remove it now, just because it may get messy when you remove it and you got the paint, and you may ruin the paint. So yeah, that's for your entertainment. I should buy, actually, yeah, I should buy the MIG MIG, the soft glue, because it should be easier to remove. This one is a bit more where we go, still not the thing is going, it's just literally glue. That's not filming it. That's why it's difficult to remove it properly. It doesn't come as a normal film thing. I think what I could do actually is remove all of them and then use some isopropyl. Let's see if they remove it better. Let's try that. I'll try drop isopropyl and see if we can do something without getting too touch. Nah, I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk it. Maybe overspill it on the paint side, and then from a paint side it becomes a paint in the ass. So let's put this on a handle. Yeah. What are we gonna do? I think we're gonna start with the places hardest to reach first. So it's gonna be the arms. Yeah, let's do the arms. Let's do the arms. Inside the arms, the torso. Make a bit of space so I can rest my elbows. Okay, that's supposed to be a skin tone. Let's get this as a reference at the back here. Yeah, skin color 654. 654 skin color. I'm keeping this standing on the side. So a quick reference. Skin color. Skin color is gonna be the most used color in the kit probably. But yeah, that's what we can do. Yeah, it's a skin color for someone that's never been out in the sun, I would imagine. But that's what we got. As I was saying, there's a little bit of yeah, this color is very is very covering, so it won't be, the zenithal underneath won't be showing up as I was hoping. as you go, isn't it? And this already come off. The glue under there doesn't work well with the putty. Let's see if we do the arms here. It would be a shame for me to ruin the Kratos figure if this system doesn't work. Probably it was easy to paint on this one because it was a bigger miniature, but these being so minute and detailed, I'm not saying I'm struggling, but it's a bit crafty to get the tip exactly where I want. Or so she said. Ha ha ha. But yeah, I consider that they're quite covering. This could be forgiving. I'll do extra, and then I will come back to it and change it if I need to, and pass something on top. So yeah, as I said, that's why I'm doing the place harder to reach, so I can always do a second pass. Anyway, this is skin color on my ass. This is very creamy. The good thing is that you only need one pass. You don't need to go again and again with your markers, because if anything, if the painting is light, that would be even better, because then your Zenitor is going to shine through. So nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. It's just get in two places. Yeah, it's not really Uber, is it? But hey, yeah, it doesn't give you the same reach that a brush will give you. Just a tiny bit at the bottom there. As I say, I'm being quite liberal with the color, because I know I can adjust it anytime. So we do the arms. Yeah, this is becoming a little bit of a gang fuck, isn't it? But hey, for the benefit of science, I need to show it to you. What we do the bottom bit here. I mean, I'm not a great skilled painter anyway, but I find that the tip gets big fast, get large quite quick, quite fast. You would love to have some little bit of foreplay, you know, while the tip, it just goes in. Hammering. Okay, let's do this bit on the legs. Which is legs? I don't know if the legs or is the top part of some sort of pants. No, it should be the legs. It should be the legs. It just yeah, it gets a little bit awkward. I mean, I don't mind doing precise work. It's just when you need to get into the tiny recesses, the little crevices, there is a little bit overreaching, let's say. Yeah. Also, I cannot find. I got this little bit in between the torso and the arms, yeah, to reach it like that, but then the color splatters all around it, which I guess I'm gonna fix it at some point, but yeah, that's not ideal. Create as well big idea. I was more like, or the other way around. Yeah, or my zenithal is literally disappearing. Let's go through, let's finish this miniature, and then we may reverse back to the old improved system of a lazy skin paint coloring. It's got a bow. Why does he have a bow? I mean, yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much done. Now you see, I was supposed to do this. Needs to be brown. I mean, it's a barrel. There's no other colors that you should do, but it's a very light brown. You know, even if I'm leaving the rings, the metal rings for the end, I still have to fill in these gaps. And as you can tell, that's gonna become a little bit of trouble to get down there. I don't know if I can get any closer, because I fear that the moment I change the zoom level on this, it's gonna go completely out of focus or out of frame. But yeah, that's, yeah, it looks quite in focus. I just need to make sure that I'm inside the magic triangle. See, if from where I sit I cannot see the screen on the phone, so I'm just guessing I'm pretty much in the right ballpark of where the camera is looking. But if eventually I'm gonna stray away from the camera field of vision, then I'm gonna fail miserably. Like this one, if I go here, probably I will be out of bounds. So see, there's some bits down there. They're really struggling. If I had the brush, because of capillarity, I would be able to reach it, and because of the zenithal and that's what happens. Because of the zenithal and speed paints, it's gonna cover his own mistakes. But this way, it's not really working. Okay, let's do this brown as well. The inside of the shield. It's a very flat color, you see. You lose all the relief of the print. Something there, of course, with the between the zenithal and the speed paint will stand out. So be a red for the pants down here. This red is horrible. I mean, it goes with one paint, but yeah, it's so cartoonish. It is really so fake looking that don't really know what to do with these things. Yeah, it goes all over the place. Goes all over the place. Same again, small details, You can do it on the outside. When you get into the crevices, you just start overpainting other things that you're not supposed to be painting, and that's a bit of turn off. So I would say, okay, these markers are good, I love them. They have their own use and place. They're good for filling in, they're good for stippling, I guess, but they don't give you the same sort of control and precision and satisfaction that a brush will give you. So yes, still like them, still recommend them, but only as an auxiliary. No, I wouldn't use it as a main way to paint a miniature. Another things I would say is difficult, it's nearly impossible to blend the colors in between them. I mean, I'm sure if you're Picasso you can do it, even if Picasso wasn't really blending but splotchy about. But yeah, I think I'm gonna quickly finish this one, and then I should remember to keep out the ones I'm using, so if little touches, they're gonna be available. Probably out of camera, but yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens when you got this going on. We need a white beard, white eyes. Let's see a precision on the eyes, if I can get. Need to get closer to see where the eyes are. Yeah, maybe we got that. Yeah, we got typical zombie eye. Someone that the first eye was alright, the second one was overdrawn, and that's another thing that's really really difficult to gauge the sort of pressure you need to put on to see if you're in contact with where you need to go. So white, we need that, we need some maybe a little bit in between the braces here. Yeah, that didn't work out. Now it's getting messy. It's getting messy with the white. Get some silver grey, pretending it's silver. And sort of see. Yeah, I mean, even if I'm not the best painter ever, this is becoming really amateur's hour for the quality and the results. So I'll see if I can use the tip sideways. Yeah, but same again, you need to be careful how strong you apply. You see how strong you apply your side tip. I guess I couldn't, because it's hard when it's hard, it's soft when it's soft, and then when you need to do a little bit of precision, it just messes it up a bit. So yeah, maybe down here a bit of metal, silver. Well, it's not metal, it's just a grey. But Yeah, this is really becoming like, you know, when you watch videos on YouTube or someone painting a miniature and they show you an example of a very bad painted miniature made like in the 1980s by some 70 years old kid on Christmas Day after drinking his very first glass of sparkling wine. But yeah, that's what it looks like at the moment. So yeah, quickly finish this one, and then in the same video I'm gonna do possibly a couple of miniatures with using the quick paint, just to show you the difference of where we get a little bit here. Actually the zenith of white on the black looks more metal than this gray on its own, and that says it all, doesn't it? That says it all. Yeah, I'm sort of giving up. That's why I sped up a bit the process as well, but I just want to get through this thing, so I've got an opportunity to put some it's a bit of non oil just to see if it gets any better. I mean, I should do a little bit, but I doubt it's gonna be a big difference. But here, so we're looking at, yeah, it's not great. It's not great. I mean, I could do the shoes. I could do this little round though, in the middle. The shield of aggravation. That's what we call this. Yeah. I'm not even being precise because I go to the point that I don't really care too much, really. Just doing some black shoes. This is going to a funeral. Yeah, I already fucked it up because I was spilling on top of the grey, which I wasn't supposed to. But yeah, that's the frenzy. That's the frenzy that's taking hold of me. Would have been nice to have some other shades of brown. I keep on saying, just to be able to do the shoes, the belt, the satchel across his chest, or whatever that thing is called. But yeah, it's not happening. So I've been using just a few colors, which maybe is a good thing, because that means that I don't need to be too. It's good for wood. It's not really. I mean, for wood, I would like to have, because it's more orangey. Wood, but see, I haven't got any browns. The wood of the stick. It's nothing. I use some orange. It's a stick made of candy floss. What can I say? That's the only explanation I'll go for this thing. This travesty. Hopefully it's gonna get a bit darker with a bit of non oil at the end. But yeah, don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. Yeah, I'm not happy, but this is as good as it gets, I guess. So let's wait 2 seconds, and then we're gonna give it some non oil on top. Is there something positive can be said about these markers is that they're quite quick to dry. So let's proceed with the null oil. Let's see. If it improves a bit. Yeah, of course it does improve, but hey. Of course I put too much on it. But yeah, it looks like a bit better now. Still way below the standard that they could be. Is still quite, I don't know, botchy maybe. What we could say. A good splash of non-oil. All I do is magic. And yeah, here it is. It's gonna dry up. So the inside of the shield just for completion. It's gonna dry up a bit, but hey, could have been worse. Could have been worse, but yes, that's what it's gonna be. So I let it dry. I let it dry, and then I set up my speed paint, and then we start doing some couple of miniatures with a speed paint to see what happens. So I got my quick speed paint out as the army paints. Army paints are the quick paints. Speed paint. These ones here. These one on the bottom are different. They're not speed paints. These are KML face painting, which is now for this purpose. I bought them. I don't know why I bought them. Probably before I switched to. When I realized I wasn't that good at painting, I switched to speed paint. I chosen this miniature because it's quite similar to the Kratos. Kratos not here. I put in the dehydrator just to dry up the non-oil. But yeah, it's got the same sort of a skin, bust, bit of a belt, and beard. I would do a direct comparison of what it looks like. So let's put it on the. Let's warm up this thing a little bit. This one came out straight away from the sticky tape. If you pull it sideways, it's better. But yeah. So we got that. Let's start with the skin, of course. Skin, we're gonna go for warrior skin. Warrior skin, of course. I could have taken out my the mixer for the color, but it's not really worth it. Only doing. Oh, is this dried up? What's happening here? It looks like I need probably this is gonna explode in my face. I need a little needle to go inside that. We got a little recipe for that as well. Just a toothpick. I should be alright. Yeah, a little clogged up. But hey. I painted it up in white and then some color just to make sure I see what the car looks like at the end. But yeah, let's do it. Oh, that's dark. Do you remember it was so dark? No, maybe not. Maybe we don't want this. Maybe we want something paler. What's the option? What's the option? This one here. We Crusade skin. Yes, we're gonna use a Crusade skin instead. Yeah, do you remember there was a lighter option? I will use that for that. I mean, since I'm here, I can do the brown. Do the brown on the shoes. Before it dries up in the palette, because I've been told not to use a wet palette for the quick paints. It's sort of a wears them down a bit, and this brush is a bit rubbish as well. So this is the same. This is probably the same. I'll make it a tiny bit wet. This is probably the same, but at least the belt. I should do this at the end anyway because it's on top of the other one, but yeah, well, since I'm here, that's a rubbish of painting. I'm completely hopeless. I'm completely hopeless. That's why I enjoy more building things instead of painting them, but I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up because they all say the more you practice, the better you get. So, and there's a lot of space for improvement here. So let's get better at some point one day. But yeah, what's it gonna have? It's gonna have so the light skin tone on his arms. Light skin, so Crusader skin. 1 and 2 drops, more than enough. Yeah, this is better already. No, I dipped in the other one, and that's what I do normally. I try to follow sequence, like color number 1, color number 2, and carry on, but it's not really. I'm trying to speed up a bit just for the benefit of the video, but yeah. Then be on the neck here. I'm gonna mix it up. On the side of the hand we've done it already. Okay, so this is done. He's gonna have well, red pants like the other one. The vest is gonna be more, if you do dark brown on the trousers, actually, since we got it out. This dark brown I've been using. I don't like really sucking the colors. What I do normally, I just wrap them on my leg, on my knee, and that's what sort of takes off the excess water all excess paint in my studio, in my lab. Well, yeah, once I spray out this dark brown, it's not that dark, but still, I wouldn't use it for skin tone unless we're going for more ethnic results, let's say. It's a tiny bit there, tiny bit there. But yeah, I already feel more confident using this than I would have. Scabbard, dark blue, maybe. Now the scabbard, we can mix it with the. Oh, I love the Polybone. Polybone is my favorite color. What we're gonna do? We're gonna use it on the socks because it's a Michael Jackson warrior. There you go. Polybone socks. I really love the Polybone color, especially when you're doing things like bows, of course, or yeah, skeletons, bones, these sorts of things. But even like teeth. It's a tiny bit of black here, and then this brown, and that's it done. So the trousers need to be red, and that's red, it's loaded red. Oh no, bright red. Yeah, bright red, more like the ones we had over there. Each cap onto each own color. Make sure we don't mix it. But yeah, that's the bright red. That really looks better than the silly red we had in the other set. It was a little bit too candy floss. But that's the thing. I mean, you can reach places with a brush, even if I'm not accurate at all. I'm still way more precise using a brush than I could ever have been using the tips of the markers on these little recesses. And of course, as you can tell, the Zonitor comes through, so that doesn't feel like a waste of a couple of hours setting up the painting. The vest, I'm gonna do the hair blonde-ish zealot yellow. Doesn't need much color, so I'm gonna put the color straight on the drop on the brush, and that should be enough. You say, oh, it's got blonde hair and the white beard. No, we're gonna do the beard as well. I like this yellow because it does leave this sort of reddish shadows in it, which actually I should have done this after doing the vest, but hey, I wouldn't be a surgeon if I wasn't doing it. Another way. Yeah, so that's the yellow done. The vest is gonna be green vest, green, maybe green, yeah, and this dirty green here, forest sprite, sort of sweaty, or absolution green, maybe absolution green. It's gonna be good for that. We need probably 2 drops. Now we need a toothpick first, again, that shows how often I use the paints. Honestly, I've been using just the yellow and the red of these paints recently, just to do the inside of the indicators on my car models. That's how much I'm using the paints. But yeah, green is a decent choice. Still gives that sort of a tribal feeling. Maybe 2 drops was even too much. But yeah, I'm not running out of paint anytime soon anyway. It just always feels like a shame to waste the color when it's not needed. But while this is drying up, I may go on and paint a different character, different miniature. I'm really going too fast. I should slow down a bit. This is gonna get me in trouble overlapping the colors. But hey, at this point I don't really mind, and that's why I bought this cheap set of paints, because even if you do a mistake, I mean, even I do a mistake, like I knew from the start I would have, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. So, okay, that's the green. Oh, I picked up a tiny bit of brown possibly somewhere. Why did I pick up a... No, it's still the green, but let's freshen up the water a little bit. This thing is amazing. This thing is amazing just to do the corners. Hairband maybe could have been green as well, since with just a light tinge of green used from the same fabric he's been using for his shirt. His shirt was too long, so he had to go to the seamstress and get it sorted. And what seamstress did, they just made a new hem and took the grain, and she made a hairband with it. But yeah, it's already looking better than bloody Kratos, isn't it? Swords. The silver is very good. This one's grey or black. I remember there was a metallic silver. That's a white. Broadsword silver. That's the one. So I'm gonna do that. I'll go 1 drop for the time being. See what happens. Yeah, I even put so much anyway. That's for that. And what's it called? This gauntlets, braziers, arm bracelets. Bit of metal in here, bit of metal in here. The knife is gonna be inside the scabbard, but still, a bit of metal doesn't do any damage. And then the scabbard will make it darker. I should have done the neck, really. Forgot the neck on the side. I said, no, just because it doesn't cover much. This color doesn't cover much, but yeah, a little bit here as well. Maybe the hilt of the sword a little bit more. No, we can do that's on brown for the scabbard. It's literally one drop. There's a brown. Oh, hope I got nice gold. Just one drop. To pick. Should change to pick, but yeah. If I clean it off, if I scrape it, yeah, it's not too different. So we need just one drop, and that's gonna be the two scabbards. Maybe a little bit more, just to be able to do the inside bit as well. Don't want it to mix with the red. So yeah, that's a scabbard sorted. Let's do the top of it as well, not to leave any gray area. So when you go a gray area, people don't know what to do. It's open for interpretation. But yeah, there we are. So quite simple, and I think it already looks better than our friends creators. Just a tiny bit more yellow on the hair just to cover the hairband. So I'd rather have the yellow on top of the green than the green on top of the yellow if it needs to overspill it. So yeah, that's it. It'll be on the side where the hair is supposed to be anyway. This side. You see, the green on top of the yellow doesn't look good, but the yellow on top of the green is okay. So just a speckle of gold on the hilt. Just because we're here, why not? Might as well do it. The hilt, the guards. And also this little bit here. And that's enough, really. That's enough. So that's your final result without too much effort. I'm gonna let this dry and then do a comparison with what we've done with the other one. But yeah, I can tell already I'm more satisfied with this one, and the painting process is less frustrating. In the meantime, I put this to dry and finish them paints with some other some other miniature just to get rid of it. And it finally happened. I opened bottle of paint too hard, and of course everything came off. I made a bloody mess. So try to salvage as much as possible of this brown. Which probably is not much, but hey, it's too thin even to get through. Made a fucking mess. So there it is. At the end of brown on the other one, and the brown on this one here. This is dark wood. Dark fucking wood. So yeah, I made a mess. I spent the last half an hour cleaning up everything and painting every single brown wooden pieces that I would have had in the other miniatures, and try to use as much as possible. I will see all the color anyway. I need to buy a new one probably, but yeah, next time I'm gonna paint is gonna be in 2026. Anyway, that's the comparison. I did that's the one I did originally with the markers, and that's the one with the speed paint. I did another one with speed paint as well, just a different darker skin tone, just because I was there. If at the end of this one I would not have spilled all the color, so it's all his fault, because I needed the brown, the wood for the dipstick, and because of this guy he let down the entire army painter. But yeah, so again, comparison between these two, I would say possibly the one with speed paint. I prefer it. This one is a bit more cartoonish. This one is a bit more, you know, real. They haven't been clear coated yet, so maybe the clear coat is gonna be even different. But am I knocking down the acrylic? No, they got their place, they got their use. Still very happy with it. They're just not very good at getting it inside the small places. While with speed paint, you are much more relaxed when you paint. I mean, relaxed to a point that the other one with the markers, you can go on top of the other colors, no problem. Paint on top, on top, on top. And these ones, when you start painting on top, it gets a bit muddy. But apart from that, I feel more confident using the brush. But then again, it's up to you. Let's go both places. They're not expensive, so still an investment to make, a test to make, and something to use for something different someday. But yeah, overall, this, maybe this, but this is not too bad. But thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in another video when I finish painting all these other puppets, all these other miniatures that got left. I'm definitely gonna use the brush for this one, apart from the color wood, which I already used, all the others, and then I found the use for the markers as well. Thank you for watching again, and I'll see you next time. Bye.